Yeah, and I think you're saying about this like transition and the cash is king. I feel like there's a bit of a it's almost like a sleight of hand, because people aren't necessarily either they're not aware or they're just not thinking about it. Maybe that's the same thing. But was kind of slowly moving into a cashless society, but it's kind of like this creep
Hmm.
that we're moving into it. And we've
Starting
kind
to
of got
happen pretty fast now, though, right?
well,
If it-
yeah,
yeah.
now it is, yeah, for sure. Especially obviously after, I mean, in the UK at least, I don't think just from speaking to some of my American friends, maybe they had this in Canada. I don't know, but in the UK at least, during COVID, obviously contactless payments were the big thing, right? Everyone was pushed towards contactless payments. Um, and
Mhm.
then we've got a level after that, which is obviously the CBDCs.
Mhm.
But yeah, COVID really pushed us into a more cashless society for sure. Because I mean, essentially, businesses, I guess they could transact. I don't think there was any like laws that were saying that you have to use contactless. But I think it was definitely heavily incentivized, and there was obviously a feeling because of COVID that if you didn't do that, then that was I guess a bad thing, right? So everyone felt like they were obliged, that owned a business, to like, oh, I have to do contactless now because I'm not respecting the customer by doing that because I'm going to give them COVID or whatever. So there was justification basically, and so yeah, you're right, it accelerated pretty damn quick. I mean, I'm talking small businesses. I noticed that like they'd never had a card machine before. Some of them just dealt in cash. Some of them were really still old school, and in COVID, straight away, bam, they had the card machine in there. They had the contactless payments, just tap and go, tap and go. Um, but yeah, so yeah, I feel like yeah, maybe this conversation is more important than ever now because, as you say, it's accelerating and it'll hit us quick. And that's the issue. The scary thing is that once it's gone, it's gone. Once our freedoms are gone, once our privacy's gone, once we're being tracked. Like, I mean, if you were to like steamroll, like nuke the whole government or whatever, like start again, then but or there's like a small chance of repeat, like repealing some of these things. But I think history shows that like it's extreme. It's like the biggest uphill battle that you can do, like trying to get your rights back. It's not an easy task, right? Usually
Yeah,
it's like a
yeah.
revolution or a coup or whatever. In a lot of cases.
Well, that's really what this gets at, though, right? Because what makes it a dystopia is that you enter this realm of where there is no coming back, where you can't even revolt, right? Because they're taking away the means to do that. That's why it becomes a dystopia, story, right? So always historically, when governments got too powerful or certain groups, right, people can always get together and revolt. But if you're effectively controlling everybody digitally and then controlling the means by which they communicate and controlling their money and controlling their speech, there's no way for them to assemble, coordinate, use resources and money to revolt. And that's really ultimately the concern, right? Is that as we transition into the digital age, we need to make sure society has a means to prevent tyranny. And so traditionally, that prevention has come in the form of the promises made in like the Constitution, right? That's like, kind of like the best thing we have. And that's really where, the Bill of Rights, right? Or like, the first, second, all those important amendments, right, are really for purposes of preventing tyranny. Free speech, I think, being perhaps one of the most important to that end. Right to bear arms, where there's analogies to be made there with what crypto provides. But this idea that always allowing people to have this escape valve, this ability to fight against tyranny through allowing minority opinions and minority groups, a minority political group, to work together to make sure that their ideas get out into the ethos so that they could affect and prevent some kind of pure tyranny where it's just one party rule, one view, one authority that watches over everybody. So, but that's why digital cash is going to be one of the things that we need to have that escape valve. Otherwise, there will be no means for us to prevent ultimate tyranny.
Unchecked governments have eradicated privacy and truth. Those who resist are brought down swiftly, but we refuse to submit. Lunapunks are freedom fighters, protected by encrypted shadows. The future we're building is sovereign and uncensorable. The moonlit night is coming.